Welcome back to another Guns Contractors video. Today it's a new job for me with the Mighty 3CX. I've got to do some garden levelling. Now, pretty big garden this one, very nice property, and I've got to create a level area for a future, I believe it's a wedding happening next year. So currently I've got a load of dead grass that's already been sprayed off deliberately because our plan is to utilise some of that in the makeup of what we've got to do. So I've got this area that's here behind me. This is the area it's going to be levelled. I've got a tree, which obviously I can't do much about. There's actually a manhole in the middle here as well, which I'll have to adjust the levels of as we go. So, and there's an upper lawn area here, which I'll show you in a minute, that we're also stripping and just reseeding. So I'm working in conjunction with a gardener who's going to do the actual seeding job and all of that side of it. My role here is the earth moving and keeping it reshaped, essentially, getting it reshaped. So what I'm going to do, I've been around already. I mean, when I surveyed this job, when I came here, I clocked, obviously, the tree is going to essentially define my datum. It would be lovely if we could take a little bit more out, because to be honest, in this corner where the machine is parked, I've got about 400 mil to make up down here. Over here, probably about 250, 300, and then the only bit of positive I've got over in this corner here. It's not great, to be honest. If you want to do a cut and fill and you want to try and work out whether you've got enough soil, you want as many positive numbers as you do negatives from year zero. And I've definitely got more negatives. So we are going to be scrounging for dirt, and we may well have to import some. But yeah, the customer's aware of that. This is kind of you've got to make a start, hack into it and find out what we need to do. So the plan here, I think for me, is to start digging in the high bit. Let's see what we've got over here and start pulling that out of there, because that's going to be essentially where the soil is going to come from. I can't dig under the tree because of the tree roots, obviously. So that's basically my zero. And we'll start pulling it into the lower spots down here. I'm also going to get the stripped turf. So we've already stripped the turf up on the upper lawn area. I'm going to pull that off and start firing that down in this lower area as well. So, but first I want to save the soil that I've got. So it's like a big strip, really. You're going to move things 2 or 3 times. It's just what it is with this job. So we're going to pull soil out of the main area here where the marquee's going to be, or strip the turf off it, then strip the topsoil off it because I want to save the topsoil for reuse. Then we're going to go up to the upper lawn and we're going to nick that. We're going to put that under, above the subsoil. We're going to put the existing turf I've ripped off here on top of that, run it all in layers. 9 tons of 3CX should hopefully do the job there, and then put the topsoil back over the top. Now, we are aware that this may well require a bit more compaction later on in the day. Maybe next year there's going to be a little bit more work to do because the soil, this turf is going to rot, and we had sort of hoped that it would die off a bit more than it has, but you can only do what you can. So anyway, that's what we're aware of. Do our best with what we've got, and then hopefully that'll save importing otherwise what would be probably 300 tons and mucking away all the turf, and it's just a nightmare, isn't it? So cost effective job here. Wedding's not till next summer. We've got time to solve this problem. So that's the plan that's been come up with, a bit cost effective. I priced to do this job with the 3-ton digger and the dumper, because obviously it's got iDig on it. So, it's brilliant. You can sit in the cab and you can see all your levels. I'm going to miss iDig here. It would be real handy. I could set it up off the laser and literally build myself this level pad all from the cab. But the reality is the area is so big, and I do have some good access here, that the 3CX was the natural choice. So weather's on side. It's early October. I've actually owned this now pretty much coming up a year, I think, ago since I bought it. So let's see if I can't get the hang of that front shovel, and yeah, let's get some turf stripped. The idea here is to start stripping soil or turf from the low spot first, because that's where I'll be. this is the area that I'm going to be looking to build up, essentially. So what I can do, in theory, is run the front bucket through an area like that. Probably help find a square to the area I was trying to do, wouldn't it? And get the turf stripped off of this ground. Bringing a bit too much, because then I can strip the soil from it, and then of course use that to stick all the turf I'm going to strip from other areas in that area. So, as I said, multiple times of moving stuff here, which is a little bit of a pain. But it's what it is, so just got to get into it really. But you are of course saving quite a bit of time. You're doing 8 foot at a time with these buckets, 7 foot is long enough anyway, so you can strip quite a bit of ground quite quickly with one of these machines. And of course you're not running a dumper as well, so when you're a one-man army, you're, you know, essentially doing 2 jobs at once. Quite gone deep enough there. Always a bit of a learning curve, these things. You don't want to ever go too deep, and the angle on this bucket is just got to be, you just want to get it right so that you're stripping turf and not picking up too much topsoil. That's the key. Anyway, I'll get some of this pulled off and see how we're looking in a minute. So I've been on this, well, 3 hours now maybe. Got a decent pile of turf here. This bit of topsoil is already here, that's the garden's going to use that somewhere else. Decent pile of turf here that was all stripped from this area. This is my topsoil, and I've dug this down to 250, just sort of bladed it about really, see where the soil is. And then I've got, just doing around, there's a couple of manholes over there. I found an extra manhole. Sadly, it's punched through the cover because it was all buried in the turf, and obviously put a 9-ton digger over it, and she'll punch through the old rusty cover, which it's done. So I'll have to repair that and probably change the level of it. I've got the one near my bucket anyway to do, which I knew about. So just stripping that area there with the back actor, because it's just a little bit easier. Then I'll strip the soil out of there, although there isn't much to strip out of this tree area, so I'll probably leave that and just take it out where the machine is now. And then obviously work my way into this bank. So yeah, making some progress. Going to be a lot of making a mess today, but we are getting on. So it's the morning of the next day, and didn't film anything last night. Too interested in going home. Got about 6:30, and I thought I need to get back home. But we have got quite a bit moved. So topsoil over on this side at the moment. It's the lower side. The JCB is currently sat in the hole I've created where I've saved a load of topsoil put over there. That's where the turf's going to go down. This soil here has all been created by this level area over here. So this is pretty much to grade now, all of this, which is good. I like to do that so that you can kind of get a feel for an area. You know, when you start to see an area of grade, for me, I kind of see the job, you know, start in a corner and kind of start pulling a bit out. I kind of get a feel for where I want to be, and then you can obviously do the tidying up and stuff afterwards. There have been a couple of little problems. An unexpected cable that was buried literally in the turf. Did have some warning tape on it, but it was literally on the cable. So thanks for that, whoever put that in. That is, yeah, that's now broken. I haven't broken a cable for years, I think, since I last hit one. I mean, you come across them all the time, but yeah. Customer didn't know there was anything here. Yes, I could have CAT scanned it, you know, but you're not expecting anything, and it's a tiny little. It is armoured, but it's a tiny little 3-core thing. Anyway, that'll have to be repaired. So I'm also going to bury that a lot deeper because that's ridiculous. You'd cut through that with a spade because it was like this far under the turf. So no chance with that. So we need to repair that and dig a new trench. We also found an unexpected manhole. Don't even know what this is, but there's well, obviously the 3CX rear wheel found that and crunched the lid. So I knew I had to adjust the level on the other one. It seems I've got 2 to do now and pay for a lid. So I don't know, by the time we've repaired the cable, fixed the lid, I don't think yesterday was too profitable. Joys of price and work, right? So anyway, we crack on. That's all you can do. Hope today will be a better day. So my thinking is this area here, as I said, is pretty much to grade. Certainly good enough to trim up the front bucket. I've got all the turf to get from the upper lawn area. That's going to be a today job for sure. We need to get that down in the hole over here. That pile of turf also needs to go down in there. And we probably need to push the bank because I don't obviously want to leave them with this nice level area that then sort of dives off to nothing. So we're going to sort of roll that in that direction. But obviously I've got my topsoil pile there at the moment. There wasn't really anywhere else to put it at the time. So what I'm going to do is get this upper area sorted to the right level because I'm a bit low over here as well. So push that about, get that right. Then probably use this soil here, move that up onto the upper area, level that out, and then leave some piles, and then basically work my way down the hill. That's all I can really do. We knew it was going to be lots of double handling. That's just how these jobs go. So anyway, that's the update for things to do in day 2. There are some lovely soft spots on this job as well. Like, yeah, just like really lovely. And they just seem dotted about everywhere. So being a bit careful with using the front bucket. That's the problem with a wheeled machine. They do like to find a soft spot. So can't use the front bucket as much as I'd like because these soft spots are only going to get worse the more I puddle it about with the tyres. So, but I have got to use that obviously to get all the turf off the top area. So that's going to be fun today. Let's hope there isn't a soft spot in that little narrow gap that I've got to drive in and out of because I've got to do that a few times. But yeah, otherwise, well, the job's going great. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be a contractor? Probably paid out more money yesterday than I've used. She used 44 litres of diesel yesterday, which was driving here, probably a 25-minute trip here and home again and all the day, which I didn't think was bad because, yeah, I mean, we were, you know, I didn't really stop. So not horrendous, more than you'd use in a 3-ton digger. I think probably more gear move than you'd move with a 3-ton digger. So, yeah, and we were £200 up before we started because we haven't had to transport it here. which would otherwise have been the cost of moving an 8-tonner in and out. So day 2, let's see what we can do.